Hello, friends. Welcome to another exciting episode of Caught on the Mic. I am Michael Clark. For those of you that are new here, I am based out of Lincoln, Nebraska and Omaha, Nebraska. So this episode has a little bit of a local flair, but I hope widespread global appeal. We have an outstanding Midwest MMA promotion based out of our area called Dynasty Combat Sports. It is a group of people that I am super proud to work with. So as a result, I get to meet a lot of fighters on the entry of their career and watch their progression. This episode covers one of said fighters. Hope Misner is an MMA Bantamweight. She is a badass. She's also a personal trainer. She's got a very exciting story herself. She's migrated all over the United States, living all over the place. We talk about that in this episode, and we give a little bit of focus to her fight that's coming up December 28th, 2024 at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Lincoln, Nebraska, Dynasty Combat Sports Seasons Beatings. We talk about that, so much more. We break some myths and do a little bit of myth busting in fitness science. I think you're going to enjoy this. Hope Misner joins me on Caught on the Mic today. As always, listener and viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited for this episode. I have been working with my friends in Dynasty Combat Sports for the past couple of years now. Just recently, I got to do commentary for a pay-per-view last month, and I got to talk with this young lady in front of me right now, Hope Misner. She is an amateur bantamweight training out of Premier Combat Center in Omaha, Nebraska, but she lives in Nebraska City. Hope, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you? Very excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. You are kind of young in the MMA game, just a few fights under your belt, but it sounds like a bright future. I do want to talk about one of your last fights here in a few moments, but why don't you take a few minutes and introduce yourself and kind of tell everybody where you're from and what you do.
Yeah. So Hope Misner, I'm personal trainer. I am heavy into fitness. I run a gym in Nebraska City. I got into fighting 2 years ago on a whim. Wasn't even a dream or even a thought in my head at all. I was 28 and just decided to do it for fitness. And now I'm stepping into cages because why not? Life is short.
Well, I got to tell you that last fight you had in June of this year, I have spoken with several fighters on that card, and it was everybody's favorite fight because
Yeah.
you girls went bell to bell to bell. No matter the outcome, like that was a fantastic fight. How did you feel in that moment that you were doing it?
Fans talk to me about my fights all the time because I am bell to bell. I never quit. I don't stop. I'm gonna keep pushing. You could hit me really hard in the face, and I'm gonna keep running at you. I don't quit. Brielle, she was a kick-ass fighter. I really liked her a lot. She made me run around that cage a lot though. That was a heavy cardio fight, and she got me on takedowns, and that was it. I feel like I won the fight. I lost the match. That's okay. It happens, and we'll move on to this next one, and I'll win both the fight and the match.
I love that perspective. Can you kind of clarify that a little bit? Because I think I know what you mean, but why don't you clarify that?
I feel like I fought really well. I touched her a lot. I moved her around a lot. I had her running away from me at one point. Where I messed up is I would just get a little bit excited, a little bit too close. She'd clench, and then she was able to take me down. She has really good jujitsu. Her takedowns were solid, and even though my defense was there, she had just a few more tricks up her sleeve than I did. But I do feel like I made a lot more contact with my fist. I'm a stand and bang type of fighter. That's where I like to be. And I definitely made a mark for sure. But she just got me on those takedowns. She got the points and got the win. So
With the business rooted in fitness and personal training, and that being a passion of yours, what was the catalyst kind of make you want to make this transition into MMA?
So MMA came to me before personal training came to me. There was a personal trainer here at this gym, Kevin Gray. He was a huge inspiration to me for a really long time. And he would just push me into doing things that I never thought possible ever. Um, he was a personal trainer of mine for a little while. He pushed me into CrossFit. I did CrossFit. CrossFit's amazing because you'll surprise yourself every single workout. You look at something and think, oh gosh, that's stupid. There's no way. And then you do it and you finish just you're surprised and happy and excited and keep pushing forward. And so we went from CrossFit, and then one day he just told me to get into a jiu-jitsu class, and I deadlifted the girl and slammed her on the ground. And the teacher was like, no, you can't do that. But Kevin was like, that was cool. So then it just turned into training, and I was just doing it for fitness with him. I mean, Kevin Gray anybody from Nebraska City knows Kevin Gray. They know that he'll put you through the most killer workouts out there. And that's what we were doing for a little while. And then one night he just texted me. He's like, you got a fight in 4 months, 135, let's go. I was like, bet, let's go. And there we were. That's all it was. This is MMA fighting, transferring into MMA and fighting. It was never a thought in my head. I'm not a confrontational person. This wasn't something that I ever planned on doing, thought about doing. I didn't even watch fights. And it just, went from fitness to MMA. And then I got into personal training because I wanted to educate myself a little bit more, just as far as fitness, workouts. I wanted to teach classes. I wanted to know more about nutrition. I wanted the weight cuts to be easier. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be a weapon, So that's why I did my NASM certification. I just wanted to learn. And now I have it, and now I can help other people.
That's great. That's great. So now that you have that eye of the tiger spirit in you, what are some of your short-term and long-term goals with MMA?
So I'm turning 30 in like 5 days. I just started my career. I'm an amateur, and there is not a lot of women in this sport, in this area. My first 2 fights were 3 days shy of a year between each other. That's how long it took for me to get a second fight, and it's amazing that I got a second fight this year after that last one. So, I mean, there's always the dream. Everybody looks at UFC and all that kind of stuff, and I still want it. But really, my main goal is to inspire as many women as possible to also do this sport. We need more of them. I want to see, we're already seeing wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports for women right now in high school and in college. It's incredible. I wish I had done it, but it wasn't a thing back when I was in high school, So that's what I want. I want little girls to watch me in a fight and be like, that was awesome. And then go and start wrestling for their high school. And then I want them to take wrestling and go to college and then go step in a cage one day.
Hell
Go do
yes.
jujitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever. Just do a combat sport because it's incredible.
Hell yes. Part of what I was going to ask you was about women's representation, specifically where we live in Nebraska. If you've paid attention to my show at all, I work a lot with fighters based out of the Colorado area, and there are tons of female fighters in the Colorado area, and it is a little bit heartbreaking that there's not as many here. And that is
I agree.
That is definitely something that I want to
people
see
get
more of.
pumped to see girl fights too. They get so excited. I got 2 fights, and both fights are fight of the night. And it's fun to watch girls fight, and we're tough, and we just need more women in this sport, in this area. We really do.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree. And it's funny because I'll have fight parties occasionally. Something I do. I tell all my friends, I'm like, all right, we're potlucking. We're gonna buy this pay-per-view. And I always get the most amped up. Just for the sheer level of athleticism and strategy on every women's MMA fight that I see. It's not because I'm a creeper or anything.
No,
It's
yeah,
just...
yeah. We're all here for the sport.
right. But it's I'm always get jacked up for the women's fights.
Yeah, women do it different.
Yeah,
it's fire. I love
absolutely. So do you pay attention to other markets, like other areas in the United States within drivable distance? And
absolutely. And I've picked up a few other promotions, and the fights just kind of fell through is what's happened. I've tried going to Missouri and Michigan, things like that, and then they just end up falling through. which is a super huge bummer, but I'm not opposed to traveling at all. I'll go to Colorado. I'll go to Missouri. I'll go to Michigan. I'll travel. I like to travel anyway. I've done it my whole life. So why not hop in the car and drive there after a cut? It's fine.
So your next fight is December 28th, Seasons Beatings at Pinnacle Bank Arena here in Lincoln, Nebraska for Dynasty Combat Sports. What do you know about your opponent, and what are your goals if you bring home that W?
I don't know anything about her, actually. I'm pretty sure that this is her debut. I do know that she's competed in jiu-jitsu, so I'd like to say that I expect her to try to take it to the ground. But I also thought that about the first chick that I fought, and she did not do that. So I don't like going into a fight expecting one thing and only training for one thing. I'm expecting everything.
Right.
And so my main goal is keep my distance, stand and bang, touch her a bunch. I'd love to get a knockout. I'd like to finish a fight. Then so that's the goal. That's what we're working on. But yeah.
Awesome. So you get that win. What do you want to do next if you had to look, let's say, 60 days after the fight's over? Well, win or lose, realistically.
Win or lose, as soon as another fight is offered to me, I'm going to take it. I'm an amateur. I'm only a few fights in. I'm already 30, so I don't have a whole lot of time. And like realistically, anytime something gets offered to me, I want to take it.
Hell so, yes.
Yeah.
I love
no
that.
No isn't in my vocabulary right now. It's yes, let's go. Yeah. 135, solid. 125, whatever. Let's go.
I love that. I love that work ethic. We were talking before we pressed record, something that you and I share in common. And I kind of wonder if some of our mutual work ethic isn't rooted in that. Is we were both the new kids in school all the time. We frequently moved around a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've moved. I counted it up one day. I want to say it was 42 times in my 30 years I've moved. It's craziness.
Wow.
Yeah. Always the new kid, always the new girl.
Wow.
And yeah, my parents actually homeschooled us for a while because of it. It was just easier that way.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yours was because of military. Mine was because my dad worked for a car company and was always moving dealerships. But we both lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico at one point in time. And you used to train horses. Let's talk about that.
I went from training horses to training people. Horses don't complain as much as people. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, that's true. But no, I trained horses on the racetrack in Albuquerque. I was 26 years old when I was there. I was working for a trainer and I was just helping out. I just worked the horses, rode them, trained them around the track, all that kind of good stuff. Pony girl stuff. Albuquerque was my least favorite place to live. I was only there for the meet. So a racetrack is only open for a certain amount of time in the year. So 2 to 4 months, whatever. I think I was there for 3 months and lived in the hotel next to the racetrack and just walked across the street every day. And gosh, I did not like Albuquerque at all. Sorry, Albuquerque, but
see, I'm the absolute opposite. So I lived in Albuquerque when I was a kid. And I was like a little kid, and it was always my most favorite place to live just because of the culture. I actually lived in Rio Rancho, which is a suburb of Albuquerque, an overgrown suburb of Albuquerque. And my favorite part was getting up in the morning, every morning, going out to my backyard, looking at the Sandia Mountains, specifically during the balloon fiesta. Did you get to experience the balloon fiesta at all?
We left right before that, actually. So you're there they do that rodeo at the stadium.
Right.
That's when I was there, that like 4-ish months. And then we hightailed it out of there to the next racetrack after that one closed. So yeah.
Wow. So that's another thing that we share in common. One of the jobs that I had when I was younger is I used to teach kids how to ride horses, which I was never I was never an equestrian myself. It was one of those things where somebody trained me over a course of a couple of days, and it's like, all right, you're a horse expert. Go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, for sure. So what's been your most rewarding part of this current career path that you're on as far as personal training and MMA, if you had to make a compare and contrast?
I love helping people see results. Brady and I, my partner Brady Minner and I, we put on a kickboxing and sack training 6-week program. And the women that took it, some of them came to me and said, I lost 10 pounds. I lost 7 pounds. I did it. They were so excited. I made so many of them throw up. It was great. The workouts were hard, but it was so worth it. And they finished with smiles on their faces. We had a great time. And then they also got to win, boxing with Brady and between the two. And that was solid. I love that. I like helping people find results. And then with the fighting, I think the greatest thing is after that last fight, I was kind of going around the crowds and talking to people, and this little girl runs up to me in tears, just excited, just ecstatic that she got to watch me fight. And it was this whole entire thing. And we took a photo together. Her mom posted on her story. It was all that kind of fun stuff. I love that. I just like inspiring people. That's what I want to do. I want
I
to see
love
people make
that.
a change. I want to see positive changes happening, and I want you to be happy and excited about them. I like to be excited for people. That's what I want.
Yes. Yes, I love that. As a girl dad myself, now all of my girls are all teenagers in their late teen years, but uh I love seeing strong and positive role models in a society like we have
Yeah,
today. You
it's very
know,
needed.
help them be fearless, help them like want to chase their dreams and their ambitions. So it's awesome to see that. So, New Year is around the corner. So, let's kind of shift gears over to Coach Hope for a moment. Speaking of training and nutrition, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of resolutioners. There's a funny meme that I see online where it's an empty gym and it says December 31st. And then the next picture is the Royal Rumble and it's filled full of wrestlers and it says January 1st at the
Yes,
gym.
it's insane. It's insane. It honestly is. And then it's just what's worse is we offer these like free 24-hour access or first month free, or all gyms do it to get more
Right.
people in, like just put the icing on the cake for that resolution. And yeah, so I run the front desk. I run the operations here at this gym, and I also train people and I do classes. And so I'm just nervous for this, flood of people that are going to come in. They need memberships. They need 24-hour access. They need workout plans. They need classes done. Instructors. Blah. I'm just, it's crazy, but it's awesome. It fuels me. It's great.
Awesome. So, with all of that considered, what are some faux pas of fitness that people commit whenever they're just getting back into it or starting it for the first time?
Quitting when they're sore. That is the biggest thing. Quitting when they're sore. And it's usually because they're not drinking enough water. But people get sore after the first week of working out. They're lifting weights that they probably shouldn't be lifting at. They're just kind of ego lifting because they're excited about it, or they're not sure what to do on the weight room floor. So they just hit the treadmill constantly. They're exhausted. And then they let their brain tell them to sit down and quit, and that it's okay to not go today. It's okay to have a rest day. But then rest days just kind of snowball into a rest week and a month and things like that. So the greatest mistake is people get sore and they let their brain talk them into sitting down. Your body is capable of so much more than what your brain is telling you it is. And you just have to keep pushing through. That soreness goes away after a while. I mean, I get sore here and there too, but once you get used to the movement and the action and actually going through and you start seeing results, you're not going to see that soreness as much. And the results come after time. You just have to keep pushing through. That's the greatest.
Time is a great angle for that from your personal observation for people to bake it in as a routine and be something that they are permanently committed to. From what you've noticed, usually how long before people kind of turn that corner and it kind of becomes a part of their routine? I know a lot of people talk about like the first 30 days or the first 3 days or something along those lines. What have you observed with people?
It really does. I mean, I would say a month, because a
Yeah.
month is usually where I see that make it or break it. With a lot of clients that I've had, or I've done program, I always do like a 6-week program or a 6-week challenge. That 3 to 4 week is where I'll see the drop offs or where I'll see the solid commitment. And you can usually tell as we're getting to it who's going to drop off and who's going to commit. But that 4 weeks, that's when you're really getting sore. It's really starting to pick up, and your brain is like, "Nah, let's sit down." And you'll see those people kind of push through. And I think if you can make it those 6 weeks and stay consistent and do what you need to do, like then it's easier to keep following through. I get that it's hard. It's hard to kind of put this stuff into your life, especially when you have kids and a job and all kinds of things. But gyms are usually 24-hour access, so there's really no excuse.
Right. So for some hot takes, intermittent fasting. What's your hot take on
I hate
intermittent
it.
fasting? Okay. Tell me why.
I hate it. I just feel like your metabolism needs fed. I see the benefits for certain people. If you're not working out super often, or you don't have a lot of movement in your day and you are sitting behind a desk and you burn 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day, then yes, I can see like some benefits of fasting because you don't want to overload yourself. But I do think that your metabolism needs to be fed. You need to wake up in the morning, you need to drink some water, and you need to eat something. Start that metabolism. Your body needs to be fed in order to burn fat and calories. So I actually hate intermittent fasting. Also, I do believe that it had a lot to do with people kind of creating eating disorders. When it became very popular about like 7-ish years ago,
Yeah.
intermittent fasting was a huge thing. And then it really just was people starving themselves.
That's a good observation that about 6 or 7 years ago, like it had this big boom and everybody was
It was
doing
huge.
it.
I
And
did
now
it.
hardly
I had nothing to do with fitness and I was doing it.
I was
But
doing it too.
yeah, and I was hurting myself and I was thinking, why am I not losing this weight? Well, you're not losing weight because your body's in starvation mode and it's like, I need to hold on to all of this fat so that we survive. That's what it is.
Right.
So
Right.
feed your metabolism and you'll lose weight.
I noticed psychiatric side effects. Like, and it was usually around the 60 to 90 day mark. Like I would be really diligent doing the 16/8, and I was like super disciplined with it, but usually about 60 days in or about 90 days in for the different cycles that I would do it, I would find I was a little bit more temperamental. I was a little bit more alley. I was having a little higher swings of anxiety. And then once I kind of got back into a regular eating routine, it was like, I was fine. Everything
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah. I mean, everything comes down to gut health, I think, as well. And when you're depleting it and starving it, you struggle. So you do struggle emotionally because your brain is struggling to function. And
Yes.
it's hard. So yeah, it comes down to gut health and you need to feed it.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Here's the next hot take. Arnold Schwarzenegger has this thing where he says, "Oh, you only need 6 hours of sleep. If you need anything more than that, just sleep harder." Or there's other people that say sleep is the ultimate PED. It is the ultimate performance enhancement drug. What's your thoughts?
I think quality over quantity. I mean, I
Okay.
went through a couple years ago, I was going through a stint where I was just sleeping really hard, but only for 3 hours. That was
Okay.
great. But I was having a very hard time seeing my body conformation change. I was holding on to a lot of body fat. I now, as an athlete and somebody that works out constantly and trains people, I get 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep at night. Go to sleep after drinking some magnesium. I have good quality sleep. I wear a Whoop, so it tracks my sleep. It tells me what my recovery is. When I'm in the green, I'm doing a lot better. It's so much easier for me to lose weight on this cut when I'm having solid sleep. So I don't know, quality over quantity. But I do think the
Perfect.
more you sleep, the more you rest, the better you're going to see your body create results.
Perfect. Okay. Final one of the hot takes. Supplementation. What is essential supplementation? And I'm talking stuff aside from pre-workout, and what's essential supplementation?
My non-negotiables are creatine and I love my magnesium. And I think that's all I take right now. I just started collagen, but I
Yeah.
haven't been on it long enough to tell you if it has great results. I just think that the taste is fantastic. First Farm, peppermint mocha in my coffee. It's the greatest thing to wake up to. But I don't know if it's helping me at all. I'm going to keep using it because it tastes good. But magnesium and creatine, I don't go a day without them.
So creatine, that one's easy to determine what it does, but what are the benefits of magnesium specifically? Because I know that it's different for men and women.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of hormone balancing, and I just also have better quality in sleep.
Yeah.
So, and I started taking it when I kind of went into this nutrition. Like I'm trying to cut weight right now, right? I'm still 3 weeks out, so I'm not cutting weight, but I'm trying to drop slowly. Magnesium definitely helps. I'm getting better quality of sleep. I think my hormones are balanced well. I have a better mood throughout my day too. I can always tell when I'm off of it. If I don't take it for a few days, I'm a little bit more anxious and angry. I'm unpleasant. But when I'm using my magnesium, I'm very pleasant. That's what my mom says.
For men, it's kind of similar. Like they say, if testosterone, of course, being the big discussion as men get older, losing that testosterone, but
Right,
you
magnesium
can
helps
kind of
with it.
preserve it a lot better with good magnesium supplementation. Magnesium alongside with zinc, I think,
Yes.
is
Zinc
what's
and
popular.
iron for women as well. I like iron. I do take an
Wow.
iron pill every day.
See, you didn't know you're going to have to do all these fitness hot takes.
I
But
was
ladies and
nervous, actually. I'm
gentlemen,
like, oh, what is he going to ask me? But okay, it's okay. Test my education.
ladies and gentlemen, this is important stuff to digest ahead of the new year. I mean, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from having any sort of New Year's resolution, but you don't have to wait till New Year's to start a resolution. You can start any
No.
day of the week.
Start today. Why wait till the 1st? You're just letting yourself rest a little bit longer. That's dumb. Get in here now. We're already running our holiday specials. All gyms are. Just go get them now.
Yeah, jump ahead of the crowd. That way you've got like a 3-4 week lead time of
Yes, exactly.
before
Get
it gets
comfortable in the
crazy.
gym before it gets busy. Because
Yes.
that's another reason why people quit coming is they are uncomfortable and don't know what to do and it's busy. And then they are like, I'm just going to walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes and then go home.
Good segue after, taking in all of your hot takes there. What's the overall benefit of having a personal trainer versus somebody just trying to navigate those waters by themselves?
Confidence and then just having somebody out there to tell you what to do. When I started my fitness journey, I was at a point in my life, I was at a very low point in my life where I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I hadn't taken a photo of myself in a very long time. I walked into this gym that I now work at and run. And I joined and I got a personal trainer and it was Kevin Gray. And I had enough money for 4 weeks, 2 sessions a week. And I was like, I just need to know what to do. I need somebody to hold my hand, tell me what to do, give me some confidence out there. And that's exactly what we did. I learned a ton in those 4 weeks. I learned so much. I got a lot more comfortable. I was still very nervous to go out there on the floor and lift weights by myself when I stopped using Kevin, but I knew what I was doing and I didn't feel as dumb. And I think a lot of people are so afraid of feeling stupid. The personal trainer is worth it. Even if you just do a one-time onboarding, like I do a one-time onboarding, let's go in the gym, let's spend an hour together. I'll show you everything. And it's like $35. Spend that $35 is so worth it because then you just know what you're doing. You don't feel dumb. Stop looking at TikTok influencers and just being like, I'm going to do this and then feeling stupid out there. Just go do something that a personal trainer has actually told you to do.
Yes.
It works.
Yes. So if you were to kind of group everything that we've discussed throughout this episode together, what are some goals for you long term if you were to say 2 years from now and 5 years from now? Where's Hope going to be at 35? Where's Hope going to be at 32?
Fighting wise, I just want to get as many fights under my belt as possible. In 2 years, I'd like to see a professional side of it. 5 years, I'd like to see some screens. I'm not exactly sure. You never know. I'm going to take every opportunity that comes my way. It might be too late for me. It might not be. Either way, I'm going to inspire more women every step of the way as I go through this journey as well. So then that's the main goal. I want to see more young girls getting into wrestling, getting into fighting, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. I don't care what it is. Do a combat sport. It is so worth it. It gives you so much confidence. It makes you love yourself a lot more too. It changed my life.
I think you might have just manifested your next business plan, whether you realize it or not. Is you just keep your martial arts journey consistent, and maybe 2 to 5 years from now, you could be running an all-female MMA gym or
I
MMA
would
team
love that.
yourself. You see
I
what
would
I'm
love that.
saying?
The plan, there's definitely a plan in sight for Brady and I to be moving into our own gym someday. We got some plans
Yes.
for sure. MMA gym. I want to keep up with SAC training. I want to train athletes. And I would love to do all women all the time. It'd be great.
That's fantastic. So, Hope, my final question that I ask everybody, and it's because I love the difference in answers, is what's your advice for making the world a better place tomorrow than what it is today?
Don't criticize, give advice. And don't judge, be curious.
Yes.
Don't judge people, be curious. Figure out their point of view. Figure out why they are thinking the way that they do, or what happened to them that made them come at you with a aggression or a personality or whatever it is. Learn other people's point of views and then create your own opinion.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can watch this young lady fight on December 28th at Pinnacle Bank Arena for Dynasty Combat Sports Seasons Beatings. I love that name. I love
I
Seasons
know.
Beatings.
It's so cool. I'm so excited.
Everybody at Pinnacle Bank, they love it too. I know people that work there and they chuckle. They said every time this event comes, we all have a good laugh. So I absolutely
It's so funny.
love it.
I love that.
So I hope to see everybody there. I will be there. Hope this has been a lot of fun. It's fun getting to know you. I know
Thank you
Brady
so much.
pretty well.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for doing it. Tell everybody where they can find you online.
My Instagram is Hope Misner. That's all it is. Hope Misner. HOPEMISNER. Same with my Facebook and my TikTok as well. You can find me on there.
There you go. Hit her up for some training or just to say hi or follow her blossoming fight career. Hope, thanks for doing the show. The world's a much better place with you in it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.